Hello everyone, I welcome you all for the lecture series of digital signal processing. So in the last session, we have solved some examples on the Z transform, on the basic simple definition of the Z transform using that formula, that is x of z is equal to summation of n is equal to minus infinity to infinity x of n z raised to minus n. We can solve so many examples. So if you want to study those examples, please watch my last videos. Now we will move forward for the next session. So today we will discuss the Z transform of standard sequence. So let's see what are those standard sequence and their Z transform. So please remember one thing, for to solve any examples in upcoming examples for the properties of the Z transform or the inverse Z transform, you have to remember all the Z transform standard sequences. Okay, so you have to remember the notation of that standard sequence and its Z transform, so that it will be very easier to solve any problem on the properties of Z transform and the inverse of the Z transform. So the today's session will be going to be very important one. So please remember there are 6 to 7 types of standard sequences and their Z transform to solve any problem on the Z transform. So let's discuss it. So the first one is the Z transform of the unit impulse. So the unit impulse is denoted by delta of n, okay, which is shown by delta of n. So unit impulse is given by has a value 1 for what n is equal to 0, okay. So the unit impulse delta of n is shown below. So it has a value of 1 only at n is equal to 0, okay, and the unit impulse has the value 0 for the otherwise, okay. So its Z transform will be x of z is equal to 1, or it can be denoted as a delta of n bidirectional arrow. On that z it is written and its Z transform is the 1. So please remember the Z transform of the unit impulse signal is the 1 value, okay. So the basic 2 points we have to remember, that is the value of the unit impulse, that is 1, its notation delta of n, and its Z transform. Then next, the next is the Z transform of delayed unit impulse, which is denoted by delta of n minus k, okay. So there is a minus value for this which is given, that is n minus k. So what it indicates? So it indicates that delta n minus 1 is delayed unit impulse, okay. It is a delayed unit impulse. It indicates that delta of n is delayed by k samples, okay. So this delay can be denoted by this minus value. So we have to write delta of n is nothing but the delta of n minus k, okay, delta of n minus k for the delayed unit impulse. So what will be its Z transform? So it is given by delta of n minus k is equal to 1, which has its 1 value. So it is only at n is equal to k, and k should be greater than 0. So ultimately it will be has Z transform like x of z is equal to z raised to minus k, okay. So for any delayed unit impulse, that is delta of n minus k, its Z transform will be z raised to minus k, or it can be denoted as a delta of n minus k bidirectional arrow is equal to z raised to minus k. So in that case there will be minus sign for the k. So please remember its Z transform, which is nothing but the z raised to minus k. Then the next sequence will be, the next sequence is Z transform of advanced unit impulse, okay. So this advanced unit impulse can be denoted by delta of n plus k, okay. This was the n minus k for the delayed unit impulse, which is delayed impulse, and for the advanced impulse there will be delta of n plus k, okay. So it indicates that delta of n is advanced by k samples, okay. Delta of n is advanced by k samples, and it is given by delta of n plus k is equal to 1, and the condition is given that only at n is equal to minus k, where k is equal to, k should be greater than 0. Okay, so what will be z transform? Its z transform will be x of z is equal to z raised to plus k. Okay, it is advanced because of what? It shows the plus k value, and it will be x of z is equal to z raised to plus k. Okay, so it can also be denoted as delta of n plus k, bidirectional arrow is z raised to plus k. Okay, so this is basic difference in the advanced unit impulse and the delayed unit impulse. For the delayed unit impulse, z transform will be z raised to minus k, and for the advanced unit impulse, the z transform will be z raised to k plus k. Okay, so till now we have seen the three standard sequences. Let's go for the fourth one. So the next is number fourth is the z transform of unit step. Okay, so now given signal is the unit step signal, or we can say unit step sequence, and it is denoted by u of n. Okay, it is denoted by u of n, and it has a value u of n is equal to 1 for n is equal to, n should be greater than or equal to 0. Okay, so what will be its z transform? So x of z is equal to z upon z minus 1. You have to remember these are the z transform of the standard sequences. Okay, so for the z transform of unit step signal, the z transform will be z upon z minus 1, this one. Okay, this will be z transform of unit step signal, and it also written as the this sample, that is u of n bidirectional arrow and given by z upon z minus 1, which is nothing but the z transform of unit step signal. Okay, which is the unit step signal, and the condition is that mod of z should be greater than 1. So you have to remember this value, which is nothing but the z transform of unit step signal. Okay, we move forward. The next sequence will be z transform of unit ramp signal. Okay, now we are studying the z transform of unit ramp signal. So its z transform will be x of z is equal to z upon z minus 1 whole square. Okay, so its z transform is given by x of z is equal to z upon z minus 1 whole square. So it can be also written as this type, n into u of n, which is nothing but the unit ramp signal. This is the unit ramp signal, n into u of n. Okay, n into u of n is the unit ramp signal. So what is the z transform? Its z transform will be z upon z minus 1, and the condition is given mod of z is greater than 1. So only the difference between ramp signal, unit ramp signal, and the step signal is that there is a whole square in the unit ramp signal, in the z transform of unit ramp signal, and there will be no square for the step signal. Okay, so this is basic simple difference between the two sequences, or we can say between the z transform of the two sequences, that is unit step and unit ramp. Next, 1 minute. So the next transform will be z transform of right handed exponential sequence. Okay, z transform of right handed exponential sequence. So its z transform is given by x of z is equal to z upon z minus alpha. Okay, z upon z minus alpha, this is the z transform of right handed exponential sequence, which is denoted by this value, a raised to n into u of n. Okay, a raised to n into u of n, which is nothing but the right-handed exponential sequence, okay, which is right-handed exponential sequence, and it is, and the Z transform of this sequence, okay, is given by Z upon Z minus alpha. So you have to remember this, the right-handed exponential sequence, its notation, how to denote it, and the Z transform of that sequence. So it is nothing but the Z upon Z minus alpha. It will be very easier, or it will be very helpful while you are solving the examples on the properties of the Z transform. So it will be more clear afterwards. So now you have to do only one thing. Just remember the notations of these sequences and the Z transform of that sequences, okay. So the next, which will be our last, okay, one more there. So the next sequence will be Z transform of left-handed exponential sequence, okay, Z transform of left-handed exponential sequence. So which is given by x of z is equal to Z upon Z minus alpha, the same, okay, it will be same as the right-handed sequence, which is also given by Z upon Z minus alpha, which can be denoted by this, that is nothing but the left-handed exponential sequence, which is minus a raised to n into u of minus n minus 1, okay. So it can be denoted by this equation, and it has a Z transform of Z upon Z minus alpha, okay. So there is one small one small difference if you observe this. So for the left-handed sequence, the condition is that mod of z should be less than mod of alpha, okay, and for the right-handed sequence, so this is the right-handed sequence, the condition is that mod of z should be greater than mod of alpha. So this is small difference between left-handed and right-handed exponential sequence. So please remember it. So the next is the last one, that is Z transform of two-sided sequence. So for the two-sided sequence, there will be x of z is equal to Z upon Z minus alpha minus Z upon Z minus beta. So this is the for two-sided sequence, okay. Here is beta is denoted instead of alpha, okay. So there is small changes given. So for the two-sided sequence, the Z transform will be Z upon Z minus alpha minus Z upon Z minus beta. So while solving the problems on the examples, or we can say properties of the Z transform, you have to put directly the Z transform of that sequences, okay. If you ask for the left-handed sequence, directly put Z upon Z minus alpha. If in the example it is asked for the right-handed sequence, please directly put Z upon Z minus alpha. There is no extra calculation is needed. Also for the unit ramp signal, it will be Z upon Z minus 1 whole square. And for the unit step, it will be Z upon Z minus 1. So likewise, you have to remember all these sequences, it's Z transform, okay. And you have to put directly when you are solving the examples. So we will practice it afterwards. In the next session, we will going to solve the examples on the Z transform, on the properties of the Z transform. So we will come to know all these things, okay. So we will quickly move for the properties of the Z transform. So we will quickly revise there are 7 to 8 properties from the Z transform, okay. The first property of the Z transform will be linearity property. So the linearity property states that the statement is given. So it states that if x of n is equal to a1 x1 of n plus a2 x2 of 2 x2 of n, and if x1 of z is the Z transform of x1 of n and x2 of z is the Z transform of x2 of n, then x of z will be z transform of x of n. So it can be, it is given by a1 into x1 of z plus a2 into x2 of z. Okay, so this is very simple property, which is the first property of the z transform. So it states that x1 of z is the z transform of x1 of n, as we all know, and also x2 of z is the z transform of x2 of n. Then the given sequence, that is x of n, which has a z transform like a1 x1 of z plus a2 x2 of z. So this is very simple property of the z transform. Then we will see the next property, which is the time shifting. Okay, so the next property is time shifting. So this is very also simple one. The statement is given, so it shows that if x1 of n, or we can say x of z, is the z transform of x of n. Okay, this thing, so this thing can be also be read as the x of z is the z transform of x of n. Okay, this bidirectional arrow indicates z transform. Then x of n minus k, which has a z transform of this one, z raised to minus k into x of z. Okay, so for the time shifting property, the z transform of x of n minus k, okay, it will be z raised to minus k into x of z. Okay, so please remember, this is also simple one, that is nothing but the time shifting property of z transform. Just we have to remember these things, this one, that is z raised to minus k into x of z in the time shifting property. So let's move forward. The next is scaling in the z domain. Okay, so we will see the third property of the z transform, which is scaling in the z domain. So the statement shows that if x of n, or we can say x of z, is the z transform of x of n. Okay, x of z is the z transform of x of n, then a raised to n into x of n, a raised to n into x of n has a z transform of x of z upon a. Okay, so for that value a raised to n into x of n, it has a z transform of x of z upon a. Okay, this thing, and the ROC is given. We have already learned how to find out this ROC. Just you have to remember the ROC condition, that is mod of a, r1 should be less than mod of z, and it is less than mod of a into r2. Okay, this r1 and r2 are the radius of the region of convergence. Okay, so for the third property, which is scaling in the z domain, for the scaling in the z domain, the z transform will be x of z upon a. For the sequence is given a raised to n into x of n. Okay, if there is a question on the scaling in the z domain, or you have to solve some examples on the scaling in the z domain, you have to remember this property, and this is z transform, that is x of z upon a, and the sequence is what? Sequence is a raised to n into x of n. Okay, the next is time reversal property. So what it indicates? The statement is given. So if x of z is the z transform of x of n, okay, x of z is the z transform of x of n, the ROC condition is given, then x of minus n, okay, then the x of minus n, it has the z transform of x of z raised to minus 1. Okay, so for the x of minus n, the Z transform will be x of z raised to minus 1, and the ROC is given. ROC is nothing but region of convergence, and it is given by 1 upon R2 is less than mod of Z, and which is less than 1 upon R1. So this is the time reversal property, which is also simple one. Just you have to remember this thing, that is x of minus n, and its Z transform will be x of z raised to minus 1. The next is the differentiation in the Z domain. So the statement indicates if x of n and it has a Z transform of x of z, then n into x of n, then n into x of n, it has a Z transform of minus z d by dz of x of z. So it is a derivative property, okay, derivative type of property of the Z transform. So differentiation in Z domain, what it indicates? It indicates for this sequence n into x of n, it will have the Z transform of minus z d by dz into x of z. So you have to remember this Z transform and its sequence, okay. Then the next one is the convolution of two sequence, which is very important property of the Z transform. So many times examples were asked in the examination on the convolution property of the Z transform. So this is one of the most important property. So we can see its statement. So if x1 of z is a Z transform of Z transform of x1 of n, and the x2 of z is the Z transform of x2 of n, okay, then its convolution or multiplication x1 of n into x2 of n, it has a Z transform of x1 of z into x2 of z. So it is nothing but the multiplication property, we can see it. So for two sequences given, there are two sequences. The first sequence will be x1 of n, and the second sequence is the x2 of n. Then if you want to find out its convolution, so the statement is given and its Z transform will be multiplication of these two Z transform, okay. So this is a Z transform of x1 of n, and this is a Z transform of x2 of n. So if you have to find out its Z transform, then this will be the Z transform, okay. So this is the convolution property of two sequences. The next property will be initial value theorem, and the last one is the final value theorem. So we will quickly see. The initial value theorem indicates if x of n is causal sequence, then its initial value is given by, so this is the statement, x of 0 is equal to limit z tends to infinity x of z. So you have to find out the limit of the x of z for the initial value theorem, and this is the statement. So what it indicates? It indicates that x of 0 is equal to limit of z tends to infinity into x of z. And for the final value theorem, the statement shows that if x of z is the Z transform of x of n, then x of infinity, okay, this is x of infinity is equal to limit z tends to 1 in bracket multiplication of z minus 1 into x of z, okay. So this is the final value theorem, and the statement is given that x of infinity is equal to limit z tends to 1 in bracket multiplication of z minus 1 and x of z. So these are total 8 properties of the Z transform. We have to by heart each and every property, or total 8 properties of the Z transform. If you remember, its Z transform and the statement of each property, then it will be very easier to solve problems on the Z transform. So thank you for this session. In the next session, we will discuss the problems on the properties of the Z transform. So please remember the Z transform of the standard sequences. Okay. So those are the standard sequences which we have seen. There are total 8 standard sequences are given, and its Z transforms are given. And the next one is the properties of the Z transform. So thank you for this session. So please stay tuned for the next session. We will solve the properties on the standard sequences and also properties, solve the problems on the properties of Z transform. So thank you very much.